Welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential problem without a calculator. So we have 5 to the power of 5 times 4 to the power of 7. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to rewrite this as 5 to the power of 5 times 4 to the power of 5 plus 2. Now, an important property of logarithms is that if we have a to the power of m plus n, this is the same thing as a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So if we have 4 to the power of 5 plus 2, this is the same thing as 4 to the power of 5 times 4 to the power of 2. Because 5 in this case is m and 2 is n. And we're still multiplying this with 5 to the power of 5. Now, another property of logarithms is that if we have a to the power of n times b to the power of n, this is equal to a times b in parentheses to the power of n. So right here we have 5 to the power of 5 times 4 to the power of 5, and 5 in this case is n, and 5 and 4 are a and b respectively. So this can be converted to 5 times 4 to the power of 5 times 4 squared. Now 5 times 4 is 20, so now we have 20 to the power of 5 times 4 squared. Well, 4 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 2. So we have 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2. So now we have 20 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2. Now, if we have something, now this is actually another exponential property, but if we have a to the power of m to the power of n, so if we have a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2, this is the same thing as 2 to the power of 4, because we're simply multiplying these two. And I'm going to rewrite 20 as 10 times 2. So we have 10 times 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 4. So now, remember, we're going to use this property, a to the power of n times b to the power of n equals a times b to the power of n, but we're simply reversing it. So we're going to convert this form back to this form. So a times b to the power of n, so 10 times 2 to the power of 5, this is the same thing as 10 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 5. And we're still multiplying this with 4. And now remember this property, when we're multiplying two exponents, we add our exponents. So 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 4, this is 2 to the power of 5 plus 2 to the power of 5 plus 4, which is 2 to the power of 9 times 10 to the power of 5. Now, 2 to the power of 9 is equal to 512. And 10 to the power of 5 is simply, when we're multiplying something with 10 to a specific power, we're simply adding the exponent amount of zeros to that number. So we're going to add 5 zeros to 512. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this here is our answer to this problem. Guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential equation. So we have x to the power of 4 minus 9 equals 0. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to change x to the power of 4 to x squared to the power of 2. Because remember, an important property of exponents is that we have a to the power of m to the power of n. This is also equal to a to the power of m times n. So what I'm doing is I'm simply reversing this. I'm converting it back to its original form. So x squared to the power of 2 minus, I'm going to change 9 to 3 squared. And this is still equal to 0. Now, an important equation or expression that we have is a squared minus b squared. And a squared minus b squared, if you guys already didn't know, is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So a squared minus b squared can be written as a plus b times a minus b. So as you can see right here, what I've done is I've changed this equation to match it up with a squared minus b squared. A in this case, a is equal to x squared. And b is equal to 3. So we have x squared to the power of 2 minus 3 squared, and this is also equal to a squared minus b squared. So all we have to do is plug in a and b into our expression here, a plus b times a minus b. So a is x squared, so we have x squared plus b is 3 times x squared minus 3. So now this equals 0. And now this gives us two equations. We have x squared plus 3 equals 0, and x squared minus 3 equals 0. So for x squared plus 3 equals 0, we saw this right here, we're going to subtract 3 on both sides. So if we subtract 3 on both sides, we get x squared is equal to negative 3. Now if we take the square root on both sides, we get x equals positive or negative square root of 3i. So this is actually two solutions because we have positive and negative. Now for x squared minus 3 equals 0, we're going to add 3 on both sides. So we get x squared equals 3. Now if we take the square root on both sides, we get x equals positive or negative 3. So now our four solutions are x equals square root of 3i, x equals negative square root of 3i, x equals square root of 3, and sorry, forgot to put that over here, and x equals negative square root of 3. So these four are our solutions.